So here we go. It is time to up the ante a little. We are going to start solving multi-step equations. We've done two-step equations and we've done a really nice job with those, but it gets much more complicated, kiddos. So we're going to look at some examples of some different things to look for and that we're going to need to take care of when we're solving our equations that add more steps to the process. So I've got a checklist at the very top. This checklist is going to save you through every equation, multi-step equation that you go to solve. As long as you think of things and check on things in this particular order, you will be golden. So this checklist works like the order of operations. PEMDAS is how you usually refer to it. You all know that we start our order of operations with parentheses. We look for the parentheses. If there are parentheses, we evaluate whatever is inside, but sometimes there are not. So we know if there are not, we move down to exponents and check for exponents and evaluate them. And if they are there, great. If not, we know we're going to look for multiplying and dividing. So the checklist works in that order. We will not always find every step in our equations. We just need to check for them and take care of them in this particular order. So let's get started. We've got the first problem on the left. If I go through my checklist, I'm going to draw my wall, and the first thing I'm looking for is the distributive property. And yes, I do have the distributive property to take care of. So I'm going to take my -2 times my x, which is -2x, and I'm going to take my -2 times my -4, which is +8. I'm going to keep everything beautifully lined up by bringing down that equal sign and my 2 on the right-hand side. And now we've gotten it down to a two-step equation that you're very used to, that you accomplished last week, by getting rid of the constant, which is the last thing in my checklist to look for. So I'm going to do that by subtracting 8 from both sides. That leaves me with -2x on the left equals -6 on the right. And we need to divide by -2, x equals 3. In order to check to see if I did my calculating correctly and I got the correct solution to my equation, remember I can always go back and substitute this value that I got back into my equation. So let's do that just to make sure. So if I take 3 minus 4, that's -1, and -2 times -1 is -2. So we did solve our equation correctly. Moving on to the second one, I'm going to go through my checklist starting from the beginning. I'm going to draw my wall. I'm going to look for the distributive property. I don't see the distributive property, so I'm going to go down to the third step, which is, can I combine like terms? And I see that I actually can combine like terms. I have a 5x and I have a -8x that I can put together. When I put them together, they make -3x. And I'm going to bring down that +4 because I didn't use him yet, and keep everything lined up with my equals and my 13 on the right. Again, I've got the next thing in my checklist to look for is, are there variables on both sides? There are not. So the last is the constant. Is there a constant to get rid of? And yes, there is. I'm going to get rid of that +4 by subtracting 4 from both sides. That leaves me with -3x on the left, and it leaves me with a 9 on the right. Last step is to isolate that variable by dividing by -3 to both sides. So x equals -3. And I promise if we did substitute that -3 back into our original equation, we would see that both sides are equal and our equation is true. So the last problem here that I have, I'm going to go through my checklist one more time. I'm going to draw my wall. I'm going to look for the distributive property first, and yes, I do have the distributive property to take care of. I'm going to take this 3 and distribute it, so 3 times x, and then 3 times +4. And I have to remember that I'm going to bring everything else down that I did not use. So my 5x comes down, my equal sign, and my 28. So I just took care of the distributive property. I had already drawn my wall. Next thing is to look for, can we combine like terms? And we can. So we can put our 5x and our 3x together to make 8x. So I'm going to bring down everything I didn't use. The +12 equals 28. I'm gonna check to see if I have variables on both sides, like it says the next step is to do in my checklist, and I do not. So I'm gonna head on down to the last step, which is, do I have a constant to get rid of? And I do. So I'm gonna get rid of my positive 12 by subtracting 12 from both sides. That leaves me with 8x equals 16, and I'm gonna divide to isolate my variable. X equals 2. We're going to get just a little bit fancier here. If you look at these two equations, maybe you're noticing that we now have variables on both sides of our equal sign. So we're going to find out how we handle that. I'm going to draw my wall in the first guy, and I'm going to follow my checklist. So I drew my wall. I'm looking for distributive property. It is not there. So I'm going to go down and say, can I combine like terms? Now, combining like terms means on one side at a time. I know that we have a 6x here and a negative 3x here, but we cannot combine them. That's why this wall is here. We can only combine them if they are on the same side of the wall. So we're going to keep going through our checklist. We're looking at number 4 there, which is to check to see if there are variables on both sides. And yes, we said we already see them. They're on both sides. And we're going to look for the one that's smaller and get rid of it. So which one is smaller, my 6x or my negative 3x? Well, the negative 3x is definitely smaller. So I'm going to get rid of it. And I do it the same way as I would a constant. I have to undo negative 3x by the inverse of negative 3x, which is positive 3x. And again, like any equation out there, whatever I do to one side, I absolutely have to do to the other. And it's going to get lined up underneath the 6x because it makes sense when I add 6x on the left-hand side that I have to combine it with the like term. So I'm going to draw my line there just to give me a little separation and write down what is left over. So I had 6x and I'm adding 3x. So that means over here I now have 9x. I still have that plus 22. We didn't do anything with him. He's still there. I'm going to keep my equal sign beautifully lined up. And what do you notice about my x's on the right-hand side now? They are gone because negative 3x and positive 3x, when we combine them, they make 0. They make nothing. So we got rid of the x's on the right-hand side. So the only thing that we really have over here is that positive 31. And hopefully you're seeing that by getting rid of the variable from the right-hand side left me with a two-step equation where now I can whittle away and isolate that variable to solve my equation. So keep moving. I'm going to subtract 22, that constant, from both sides. I've got 9x equals 9. And then, of course, if I divide by 9, x equals 1. And if I were to plug that back up into my original equation, I would see that I would have the same thing on the left and the right, meaning that that equation is true. So we found the correct solution. Moving on to the next problem, I'm going to draw my wall going through my checklist. There's no distributive property, but I can, this time, combine some like terms. The difference on this guy is that over here on the left-hand side, I do have two like terms that I can simplify down and condense to make this into a more manageable equation. So if I take my 5x and combine it with my 2x, I really have 7x minus 16 on the left equals 9x minus 15 on the right. Moving down through my checklist, do I have variables on both sides? And yes, I do. I have a 7x on the left and I have a 9x on the right. So I'm going to try to gather those x's on one side or the other. The most efficient way is to get rid of the smaller of the two, and that would be the 7x. So how do I get rid of 7x? How do I do the inverse of positive 7x? I subtract 7x. And whatever I do to one side, I absolutely have to do to the other. Keeping everything beautifully lined up, I'm going to draw that line and show myself what I have left. So my 7x minus 7x leaves me with no x's on the left-hand side of my equation. But I still do have that negative 16. On the right-hand side, 9x minus 7x is 2x, and I still have that negative 15. So I have a constant I can get rid of, which is the negative 15. I'm going to add 15 to both sides to get rid of it. That leaves me with a negative 1 equals 2x. And I'm going to divide by 2. And x equals negative 1/2. Okay, so it is time to do one last monster that puts everything we've talked about all together into one equation. And I promised you at the beginning of this video that if you went through the checklist and followed the order of the checklist, then you would be golden no matter what equation you were working on. And that is still true. So as long as, my darlings, you are using that checklist and going in that order, you should be just fine in whittling down this equation. So let's get started. So the first thing I need to do, of course, is draw my wall, and I'm going to look for the distributive property. And yes, I've got the distributive property that can happen actually on both sides. So I'm going to do one side at a time. I have this negative 2 that I'm going to multiply on the left, and I have my 6 that I'm going to multiply across on the right. So that is going to look like negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. Negative 2 times negative x is positive 2x. I still have that 24x that I need to bring down to join them. I'm going to line up my equal sign. Now I'm going to distribute my 6 on this side. So 6 times 3x is 18x. 6 times 2 is positive 12. So in my checklist, I have drawn my wall. I have used the distributive property. It was on both sides. Now I'm checked to see, can I combine any like terms? And I see that on the left-hand side, I do have like terms that I can combine. I can put that 24x with the positive 2x, and it's really 26x minus 12 equals 18x plus 12 over here. So I'm going to check off that I combine like terms. Next up, I'm going to look to see, are there variables on both sides of my equation? And yes, there are. So I'm going to look for the one that is smaller and get rid of it so I can gather all my x's on one side. So I have a 26x on the left and I have an 18x on the right. So that means I'm going to get rid of my 18x because it's the smaller value. So how do I get rid of a positive 18x? Well, by subtracting 18x from both sides. Draw my wall across to show myself what is left. On the left-hand side, I had 26. I'm going to subtract 18. That leaves me with 8x on the left. Bring down that negative 12 equals just the 12 on the right, because the x's on the right-hand side are now gone because we subtracted away the 18x. Going through my checklist, I took care of the variables on both sides, so the last thing I'm going to worry about is there a constant to get rid of, and yes there is. That negative 12, I'm going to get rid of it by adding 12 to both sides, and I'm left with 8x on the left equals 24 on the right. I'm going to divide both sides by 8, and I have x equals 3. So that is an example of using that checklist, just making sure we checked for everything as we went through. And because we did that, we were able to easily get the solution to our equation.